How to be unstoppable. My secrets to living in courage, prosperity, and in my authentic power. Thank you for joining me on this webinar. My name is Samantha Gregory, and I am a women's lifestyle expert where I teach women how to create the life they love. I want to share with you these 16 tips to creating and living an unstoppable life. Number one, know yourself, or at least do the work to get to know yourself. It is a process, but it's very important that you get to know yourself. Otherwise, you will always be floundering around, living in someone else's shadow, living out of someone else's life pattern, and you can never be happy being someone else. So I urge you, know yourself, find out who you are, what you like, what you love, and as you learn more about yourself, you are able to stand up for yourself, you're able to be more authentic, and you can start being unstoppable. Number two, be yourself and accept yourself. Sounds like two things, but they kind of go hand in hand. Accepting yourself and being yourself is the second tier process of knowing yourself. When I was learning all about myself, it was quite a journey. But I decided until I knew who I was, I could never be able to help other people like you who are on this webinar right now. And the other part of it was I had to learn how to accept myself. That was hard because as women especially, we are so used to looking in the mirror and saying, oh, I can't stand my thighs, my stomach is too big, I don't like my personality, my nose is too harsh. So many different things that we complain about when we look in the mirror every day, or the negative thoughts that are running around in our heads every single day. It becomes tiresome. And when you live that way on a continuous basis, it just tells the universe, hey, she doesn't like herself, so we're not going to send people into her life or into her world that likes her and wants to help her. She can never be unstoppable until she learns to accept herself. And one of the secrets of accepting yourself is, and being happier in the world, is that when you accept yourself, you start accepting other people. You look past their flaws. You begin to accept this is just the way they are. So those people you have problems with your entire life, they're no longer a problem to you because you come to accept the fact that this is who they are, this is how they are, and I can't change that. Because the only person we have the power to change is ourselves. So learn to accept and be yourself. The next thing you want to do is to take risk. Risk, wow, people hate taking risks because it means either they're going to get hurt or lose something or they're going to miss out on something. But I'm here to tell you, as a number one risk taker, you will only lose out if you take uncalculated risk. So what you need to start doing is taking calculated risk. That is the best way to take risk and come out on top. From the day I was 10, 11 years old, I have been taking risk. I took a risk by starting a baking company. I baked pound cakes my mom taught me how to make, and I started sharing them with people and they started buying them. Now that was a big risk for a 10-year-old, but I took that risk. I found out that people actually loved what I baked and they were willing to pay me top dollar. And this is in the mid 70s, mind you, and early 80s. They paid me $10 per cake. And I was an entrepreneur at the age of 10. And had I not taken a risk, I never would have been there. So don't be afraid to take risks, calculated risk, count the costs, look at the pros and cons, but then you need to take action. And that is my next tip. Take deliberate action. And when you take deliberate action, you will find that all your dreams and your goals begin to come forward. So taking action can feel kind of scary, but it is what you have to do in order to make it in this world. It is what you have to do to go to the next level. It is what you have to do if you want to see the results in your life. You must take actions. After this webinar, you must take action because if you don't, you will be in the same place you've always been and get the same thing you've always gotten. So begin to take action and really push yourself forward. Now, those actions don't have to be massive, humongous actions that make you feel uncomfortable. They can be small baby steps. And that's what's so important. Take the baby steps and you'll begin to see incremental results in your life. It's amazing. All right, moving on to our next step to be unstoppable. One thing you have to remember is to never stop learning. What this webinar is one of the ways that you learn. You learn from other people, you learn from their experiences, you learn from books and video and audio and podcasts. All those things are very important methods of learning, and you can do this. So pick up a book, look at a video, sign up for a webinar, do whatever you need to do in order to keep learning. Learn day and night. And I promise you, lifetime learners are the most successful. People who read are most successful because they gain so much more knowledge than people who sit in front of a television day in and day out, never learning anything and never being an active participant in their life, never taking control over what they can become because they are afraid to learn. Our next tip is help and be kind to others. Now, this is one of the secrets of being unstoppable. When you help and are kind to other people, you get amazing good karma back coming back towards you. I love helping other people because not only do I get a benefit out of it, but of course they get a benefit too. When you help other people, you send out good vibes into the world. You build relationships when you help other people. You make other people feel wonderful and they remember you. So it doesn't take a lot to be kind and to be helpful to other people. It may take a few minutes out of your day. It may take a few hours, depending on what it is. But the thing about it is, when you help and you're kind to other people, you do something in the world. You cause a ripple effect that would not have occurred otherwise had you not been so willing to help them out. So help them out, be kind to other people because there's enough mean people in the world. Kindness is not necessarily being ultra nice and syrupy and sweet because trust me, I'm not such a nice, syrupy, sweet kind of person, but I am kind. I will give a person the last that I have. However, I know that being kind and being nice are kind of two different things in my book. I am not looking for anything back when I'm being kind. Whereas if I'm just being nice because I want to get on someone's good side, then that means the objective is totally for me. But I want to send out good karma into the world, good vibrations into the world. So I've learned the power of being kind. The next thing that you want to do is to fire the criticism committee. Yes, those people who are always criticizing everything you do, those people who are always so negative, those people who never have anything good to say about anything in the world, about your life, your projects, your goals and dreams. You have to fire those people, really, because they will only add more negativity into your life. I grew up around quite a few negative people. It really did something bad to my life. I began to think negatively all the time, and I didn't feel like I wanted to or could do anything positive and life affirming for other people because these people were always in the back of my head. And it's not that they are in your face constantly, but if you have had a barrage of negative information and criticism growing up, those voices are still in your head, and you have to at some point smash those negative records of lies and the things that you believed about who you are and what you could do. In order to become unstoppable, you have to fire the criticism committee. So the next thing I want to bring to your attention is to never ask for permission to be wonderful. Never ask for permission to do something good in this world. Don't sit back and wait for the other person's approval. Whether it's your parent, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a boss, whoever it is, don't ask for permission, but ask for forgiveness if you happen to mess things up. But if you're doing good in the world, you don't need permission. You don't need anyone else's approval. You simply go out and you do the good that you find to do. You do the project that best resonates with you. You make sure that everything you do because it's something that sings to you, that calls to your soul and spirit. And then when things go bad, if they should happen to go bad, all you need to do is say, I'm sorry, and then move on from there. If you want to be unstoppable, you will want to write your dreams and your goals down on paper, perhaps with writing pen and paper. There is something amazing that happens when you take pen to paper and you write down your goals. You not only get these goals and dreams out of your head, but you declare to the world, to the universe, that you are committed to reaching those goals. You may not know how, but you know that you will. And writing it down is a firm declaration that you will reach your dreams and goals. Don't make the mistake of letting those dreams and goals swirl around in your head and you never get them out into the world, because they just can't flourish out inside of your head. They can give you a lot of hopes and dreams, but someone always told me a hope is not a plan. So get your hopes, your dreams out of your head, write them on paper, and then they'll become a goal. And after you do that, set a time frame that you want to complete that goal. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can't push the goal back or that it won't be completed ahead of schedule, but the point is to write it down so you can make it happen. One other thing that I would love to share with you is to trust your intuition. That feeling, that thought, that dream, that thing that pulls you into one direction or another, the one that tells you don't do that, or the one that says go ahead, because that is the way to go. You want to be sure that your intuition is the thing that leads you. Now, it's okay. Your head may sometimes clash with what your heart is saying or your intuition is saying. Sometimes we want to use logic and reasoning for before we make a decision about a person or about a project or whatever it is we want to do in the world. But oftentimes that gut reaction, that feeling is always true. You have to learn how to trust it. Otherwise, you find yourself saying, man, I should have done this, or I should have done that, or I should have listened to that voice. It's happened to me over and over and over again. My first thought is usually my right thought. And then when I didn't follow that first mind, I always either went back to it or I regretted not doing it. So trust your intuition. It is there for a reason. It was placed inside of you to lead you in the right path. Now, for some people, you have to dust it off a little bit because we've been so conditioned and used to using our head only. But when you learn to listen to your heart and trust that it will take you in the right direction, you will be unstoppable. So my next secret is put yourself out there. Sometimes we get so nervous and afraid of putting ourselves out there, putting that project out there, whether it's art or a song or music or whatever it is. We get so nervous about putting ourselves out there because we're afraid of rejection or ridicule or any number of negative outcomes we imagine in our heads. Putting ourselves out there is part of taking a risk. But when you put yourself out there, you do what thousands of people, even millions of people, still will not do. So in order to get people to know who you are and what you have to offer, you have to put yourself out there. Start out small. Be more engaged on social media. Put out an ebook. Do a podcast interview. Do a guest post. Do whatever it takes in order to get yourself out there, to get your name out there in the world, to get your 15 minutes of fame, as it were. But of course, we want it to last a little longer. So put yourself out there and learn to be unstoppable. One other important thing about being unstoppable, the secret I want to share with you, is to learn from your failures. That is such an important part of life. The lessons that we learn from the failures that we have. And it makes those failures seem less traumatic and dramatic. We want to make sure that our failures become stepping stones, not stumbling blocks for us. It is important to really look back on a situation and figure out, why did it happen the way it happened? What part did I play? And then from there, forgiving ourselves for the failure, for the beliefs we had that led to our failure, and then accept the failure happened. Because we can't go back, we can't change it, but we can do something productive with it, and that's simply learning the lesson from it. So don't let your failures get you down for too long. Learn to let it go and release it, and then learn the lessons that bubbles up to the surface when you have taken a look at that lesson or that failure. One other key I want to share with you to learning how to be unstoppable is to never give up and keep trying. One thing that I have learned in my life is I must never stop reaching towards my goal. I cannot give up. I must keep trying, because when I keep trying, when I keep moving forward, then I find myself having more success, feeling more unstoppable, and reaching more people, serving them in their life so that they know that there is hope and there is encouragement and inspiration out there, maybe through my life or someone else's life. But if you give up, they will never know or experience what you have to offer this world. So keep trying every day, every week, every month. Do something to reach your goal. Don't give up on it. Don't give up on yourself, because when you give up, that's when the real failure comes into play. For the person who continues on, no matter how many times they stop, how many times they trip, how many times it seems that they fail, no matter what, if they keep moving forward, then they have not failed at all. They begin to reach the pinnacles of success little by little, every single day, every week, every month, every year, until they have finally reached their goal, until they finally feel, I am unstoppable, and they are able to share the great love, the great service that they have with the people in the world. And I want that for you. I don't want you to ever give up. If you feel a little tired, weary, rest a little while, but never give up. My other secret is, don't be a victim of your circumstances. A lot of times we give up. We feel like we can't do much more than what we're doing because the circumstances are not right. We either are too old, or we're too young, or our kids are too small, or we have a spouse who doesn't believe in us, or we have friends who ridicule us, or we were in an accident, or we went bankrupt. So many different reasons and excuses for not doing what you can do, for not being unstoppable. But what this is what this really is being a victim to our circumstances. We allow life and the things that it throws at us to throw us, instead of taking life by the horns and moving forward. The circumstances of your life are really just opportunities to do something different and something better. Or it's an opportunity to go in a different direction. We're led in certain paths from the day we were born, which we call our destiny, our destination, and we will have circumstances that happen to us, things beyond our control, but then there are a lot of things that are in our control. So we have to learn how to plan the kind of life we want, create the kind of life you want, so that you don't become a victim of circumstance and wallow in shame and guilt and feel like you are worthless, because you're not. So do not let the circumstances of your life make you a victim. It just doesn't serve you. You deserve so much better than that. Okay? So we're almost to the end of our secrets. The next one is learn to meditate and seek solitude. There is power in quietness. I know this for a fact. When you're able to sit still, when you're able to relax and control your breathing and allow it to happen, then you begin to experience something new and different in your life. You begin to experience peace. You begin to experience better health. You begin to get revelations about what you're to do, what you can do, and it is amazing. To quiet your soul is to take yourself to the next level in your life, to learn to be grateful and to be unstoppable. So learn how to meditate is simply sitting still, closing your eyes, clearing your mind, and breathing. One way I learned how to meditate was to count my breaths. And when I learned to count my breaths, my mind was occupied. And so it didn't wander everywhere. I breathed deeply in and out and in and out. And it stilled me. It made me feel like I was centered, that I could actually hear the voice of God telling me the next step to take. So when you learn, give yourself 5 minutes just to meditate quietly in the morning, quietly in the evening. And when you find yourself feeling stressed at work, when you're at your desk, get up, walk away, go outside on your lunch break. Take deep breaths for 5 minutes and don't think about anything other than those breaths. Yes, you're going to get some messages and revelation about what you could do. Ideas are going to pop into your head like popcorn, and that's okay. But the point is to shut out the world and to tune in to nature and to yourself. Then you become unstoppable. My final secret, or next to final secret, is to invest in yourself. To become unstoppable, you can't be cheap. I'm just going to put it out there. You must invest in yourself. And when you invest in yourself, you come to realize that you have more value and worth in this world, and that you deserve so much more, and that you are able to put more out there that's high quality, and you're able to request, ask for, command, demand more in terms of finances. When someone pays you, you are able to realistically charge a high dollar amount because you know what it means to pay a high dollar amount. When you invest in yourself, you get higher quality, you get more for your money, and you learn that you deserve it. And not only from a perspective of getting high quality, but in giving high quality, the return is so much more than what you put out there. So invest in yourself. Don't hold back. Don't be stingy, but learn that you are worth it. And finally, learn to tap into your inner feminine power if you're a woman, or masculine power if you're a man. But for the most part, I'm speaking to women. Learn to tap into your feminine power. You just don't realize how powerful you are as a woman. You have been gifted with such a wonderful, powerful spirit as a woman. It's so hard for me to even explain, but it means that you walk in confidence. It means that you hold your head up high. It means that you know your intrinsic value, not only to this world, but to God Himself. You have so much wisdom that you are capable of putting out there in the world for your gifts, for the fact that you are a nurturer. Whatever you desire, you can have as a woman because you have this feminine power. You have so much that men desire and crave and wish they had. And until you learn the secret to that power, you will continue to devalue yourself. And I'm here to tell you that you cannot be unstoppable if you are devaluing yourself. You are much more than that. So learn what your power is and then begin to tap into that power. And once you have done that, you will find that, along with the other tips and secrets that I've shared with you, will make you one of the most unstoppable women on the planet. And I want to be there to congratulate you and encourage and continue to inspire you to be unstoppable so that you can live in courage and prosperity, and that you can live in your authentic power. You are worth it. I hope that in this short seminar, you learned all the ways and secrets of living an unstoppable life. You can move mountains because of who you are as a woman. So take these tools and tips, apply them to your life, because remember I said you have to take deliberate action in order to see the changes in your life, in order to have more courage, and put yourself out there in the world in order to have more prosperity, in order to live in your authentic power. You have to apply these secrets to your life on a daily basis, and you have to own them because they are yours now. I put them out there for you. And so I'm so happy that you gave me the opportunity to share with you these secrets to authentic power, to being unstoppable, to having courage, and to being prosperous. All these things go hand in hand. And I would love for you to complete the assessment that I have at the end of this webinar so that I can know what more I can offer you to help you reach your goals and the pinnacle of your success so that you can truly become unstoppable. The link is at the end of this webinar. Simply click it and complete it. It's really quick, and I would love to schedule a discovery call with you so that you can learn how to create the life you want, so that you can be unstoppable, and so that you can change the world. My name is Samantha Gregory. Thank you again for being here with me on this webinar. Have an amazing day, and God bless you. Yay! You made it to the end of the video. I am so proud of you. Now you have the opportunity to take the quick assessment and to get my free gift, the 30-minute discovery session. It's so important to take action towards your unstoppable power. And one of the things you can do is just have a conversation with me. There's no obligation. You do whatever you like with the information that I share with you after that, or you have the opportunity to do coaching with me. I would love to work with you in 2015. So go ahead, take the assessment, and go to the next level for your life. 2015 is going to be your year if you just take action. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on the other side.